You wake up in a world that feels familiar and strange at the same time. Before you can even open your eyes fully, a heavy smell fills your nose. It is the smell of wood smoke, animals, and life without soap. You take a deep breath, and the cold air bites your lungs. You are not in your soft, warm bed anymore. You are in colonial America, sometime in the early 1700s, where every day is a fight to survive. You lie on a simple wooden frame that the people here call a bed. A rope net holds up a thin mattress stuffed with straw or dry corn husks. The ropes have loosened during the night, making your body sink into the middle. Every sharp piece of straw pokes through the rough cloth. Your back hurts in places you never noticed before. But here, this is normal. Everyone wakes up sore. There is no glass window beside you, just wooden shutters keeping out wind and rain. If a family is a little lucky, they stretch oiled paper over the openings. It lets in light, but everything outside looks cloudy and blurry. The only light in your room now is whatever weak sunlight manages to slip through the cracks. Your stomach growls. That is a good sign. It means you are not starving today. But hunger is a normal feeling here. Getting food is not simple. There is no grocery store, no refrigerator, no delivery apps. Food must be earned with sweat and hours of labor. Breakfast itself is a job that starts before sunrise. You hear movement in the house. Slow, tired footsteps on wooden floors. A woman is already awake. She must restart the fire in the main room. Fire is life here. Without it, there is no heat, no cooking, no light when darkness falls. You swing your legs off the bed and step onto the cold dirt floor. It is packed hard from years of use. Wealthier families have wooden floors, but most people live like this. The ground is always freezing in the morning. Sometimes, after heavy rain, water creeps up from below. You walk to the shutter and push it open. Outside, morning light shines on a small farm. Smoke rises from every chimney you can see. Everyone must wake early. Chickens cluck loudly. Cows complain, waiting to be milked. A rooster announces a new day. You notice tree stumps everywhere. Clearing land is hard. People cut trees and leave stumps behind because digging them out takes too much strength. You can see people working already, fires being fed, tools being carried. In this world, there is no resting or waiting. A single day of laziness could mean less food in winter. And winter is cruel. You are still wearing the same clothes from yesterday. In fact, most colonists own only one everyday outfit and one nicer set for church. The fabric is rough. It scratches your skin, but clothes are too hard to make to worry about comfort. People smell like smoke and sweat. But nobody cares, because everyone smells the same. The woman of the house is very busy. She kneels near the fire pit, blowing gently into the warm ashes. Sparks glow into life. She adds small sticks, then bigger ones. She hangs a heavy iron pot over the rising flames. Soon the smell of boiling cornmeal fills the air. This mush will be breakfast. No sugar. Maybe a little milk if the cow has given some. Children run around doing chores. A girl carries a bucket of water from the well. A boy checks the chicken coop. Even young kids must work. This is how families live. You eat from a wooden bowl using your hands or a wooden spoon. The mush is plain, but warm and filling. It gives you the energy to start the long day. You will need every bit of it, because life in colonial America is simple, but also heavy. There are no machines, no electricity, no medical help if you get hurt. Food must be grown, harvested, and stored. Tools must be made by hand. Clothing comes from animals or fibers that must be spun and woven for hours each day. Every day is a challenge. But people here do not cry about it. They accept life the way it is. They find happiness in small things: a good harvest, a safe family, a warm fire, a full belly. You begin to understand the truth of this world. The strong survive, the weak suffer, and nature does not forgive mistakes. Still, there is beauty here: the soft glow of sunrise, the sound of birds, the laughter of children even in hard times, the shared work that brings families closer. When a neighbor builds a house, everyone helps raise the walls together. When harvest time comes, the whole community joins hands. You take another bite of warm mush and feel something deep in your chest. A strange mix of fear and admiration. Fear of how hard this life is. Admiration for the people who live it every day. You step outside and breathe the sharp morning air. The workday has just begun. And in colonial America, work never stops. By midday, the truth of this new life hits harder than the cold morning. Surviving here is not just hard work. It is a full body, full mind struggle from the moment light touches the sky until darkness swallows the last ember of the fire. You step back and look at the house that shelters you. It is small, rough, and simple, but every part of it holds a story of sweat and skill. The wooden frame was raised by neighbors, lifting heavy beams together. Between those beams, thin sticks were woven like a giant basket. Over that, people pressed. A thick mix of mud, straw, and animal waste. When it dried, it became firm walls. If you run your hand along them, you can feel the marks of fingers, the curve of palm prints left by the people who built it. Above you, the roof is made of thatch. Layer upon layer of dried straw, carefully laid so rain runs off instead of soaking through. It is not perfect, but it works. A stormy night here means listening to wind scream across the fields, hearing rain drum on the roof, and saying a quiet thanks when no water drips onto your bed. Inside, there might be only one main room where everyone eats, sleeps, and spends their evenings. In some families, 8 or 10 people share this small space. Parents, children, maybe a grandparent, maybe a hired helper. Privacy, the kind you know, does not exist. Everyone hears every whisper. Everyone sees every tear. But there is one small building set away from the house that almost everyone dreads: the outhouse. It is just a tiny wooden shed over a deep hole in the ground. Inside, a wooden seat with a rough hole cut into it waits. There is no toilet paper. You might find old rags, corn cobs, or smooth stones instead. On a hot summer day, the smell inside is so strong it makes your eyes water. On a winter night, the short walk across freezing ground feels like a test of courage. When the pit fills up, someone must dig a new hole and move the whole structure. The waste seeps into the ground. Many families live near streams or wells, and slowly that waste creeps into the water they drink. People do not know why sickness spreads. They only know that sometimes whole families fall ill after a rain or after the well water tastes strange at night. When it is too dark and cold to stumble out to the outhouse, families use chamber pots. Simple bowls or pots kept under the bed. In the morning, a child or a woman carries these outside and dumps them. In town, people often throw the contents right into the street. Walking through a colonial street means dodging trash, mud, animal droppings, and human waste. The smell of the town is almost beyond belief. There is no garbage service, no sewer system. Horses pull carts and leave droppings everywhere. Pigs and stray dogs dig through piles of leftover food. After rain, the streets become foul rivers. After sun, the ground dries into dust that blows into every open window and every mouth. You might imagine that in such a place, people are always trying to wash and stay clean. But most colonists rarely bathe. Not because they enjoy being dirty, but because a full bath is seen as risky, wasteful, and strange. Heating enough water to fill a tub takes hours and burns a great deal of wood. Many people fear that soaking the whole body will make you weak or sick. Instead, most people wash only their face and hands in a small basin. Clothes are worn again and again until they are truly filthy, and even then, washing them is a huge job. Soap is made from animal fat and harsh ashes, and it can burn skin. Laundry day means hours of back-breaking labor boiling water over fires, scrubbing, rinsing in cold water, and hanging heavy clothes to dry. Lice are everywhere. In hair, in clothes, in bedding. People fight them with combs, boiling water, and shaving heads, but they never truly win. Even the rich scratch their wigs and feel the tiny crawling on their scalp. Yet people somehow adjust. When everyone smells like sweat, smoke, and old wool, the nose gives up. It becomes background, like traffic in a modern city. Life goes on. The real danger is not the smell. It is the sickness that stalks silently through this world. Diseases that you think of as small or avoidable, like a simple stomach bug, can kill here. Dirty water brings waves of illness that sweep through whole towns. Dysentery, fevers, and other gut sicknesses leave people weak and unable to work. Children die quickly. Adults try every remedy they know, but often nothing helps. A small cut on the hand seems harmless at first, but if dirt or waste gets in, it can swell, redden, and turn hot. Without clean water, without real medicine, that small wound can poison the blood. People watch a hand, then an arm, then a life turn gray and cold. Toothaches are more than annoying. A rotten tooth can become a deep infection inside the jaw. There are no dentists like you know. A barber, a blacksmith, or some brave neighbor might grab a metal tool and try to pull the tooth. There is no numbing medicine, only strong drink and a strong grip. Often the tooth breaks and pieces stay inside. Keeping the pain alive, childbirth is one of the most dangerous events in a woman's life. Babies are delivered by midwives, older women who have learned by experience, not by books. They know tricks to turn a baby, ways to calm a mother, but they do not know about germs. They reuse cloths and tools from one home to another. Many mothers never stand up again after giving birth. Many babies never take more than a few breaths. Graveyards tell the story clearly. Rows of tiny stones for babies and children. Simple markers for young mothers. Families learn to love with all their hearts, knowing they may have to say goodbye too soon. And yet, in the middle of this rough and fragile world, people do not live every day in fear and tears. They keep going. They hold on to faith. They find comfort in each other. Neighbors help when illness strikes. Food is shared. Children are taken in. Songs are sung over small graves and large tables alike. As evening comes, lamps are lit and fires burn low. People sit close together, talking in quiet voices, telling stories, and mending clothes by firelight. Outside, the streets are dark and cold. Inside, circles of warmth and light glow like tiny islands in a sea of danger. This is how people actually live in colonial America. Not as heroes in books, not as figures in a painting, but as real human beings walking a thin line between survival and loss every single day. And as night deepens, another truth appears. Not everyone in this world lives the same way. Some wake in feather beds, some sleep on bare straw. Some work fields until their hands bleed. Some count coins at polished desks. Soon you will see how class, money, and power shape every breath in this early world. Night falls again across the colonies, and you begin to understand that this world is not one life, but many. Colonial America is divided into classes, like layers stacked on top of each other. Where you are born decides almost everything about your future. If you are one of the wealthy few, you wake up in a real bedroom with a fireplace and glass windows that cost more than most people earn in a year. Your bed is soft, filled with feathers instead of prickly straw. A servant or enslaved person brings warm water for washing your face, then helps you dress in fine clothes stitched by a skilled tailor. You drink tea or coffee, both expensive. Luxury imports from across the ocean. Your breakfast might include butter, fresh bread, even sweet preserves made with rare sugar. Your shoes shine. Your hands are clean. Your life has comfort. But you are the exception. Most people live in small wood cabins with dirt floors and cold nights. Their hands are rough and calloused. Their clothes are made of wool that scratches the skin. Their day starts before the sun rises and ends long after it sets. And still, there is never enough time to finish all the work. Then there are those whose lives are the hardest of all. Those who are enslaved in the southern colonies. Large plantations grow crops like tobacco and rice that make wealthy families richer every year. But this wealth is built on forced labor. People taken from Africa, torn from home and family, are forced to work from sunrise to darkness with no choice, no freedom, and no hope of escape. Their suffering is silent, hidden in history books behind numbers and cold facts. But here you would feel it, see it, hear it. A person born enslaved must obey every command. They are punished for the smallest mistake. Families can be broken apart and sold away without warning. Enslaved men and women create the beauty and success of plantations, but are denied every joy that life promises. And yet, even here, they find ways to hold on to hope. Songs, stories, and community become their strength. Between these extremes stands the middle class. Shopkeepers, carpenters, blacksmiths, teachers, and traders. They work hard but earn enough to own a good house, eat decent meals, and send their children to school if they are lucky. Their lives are not easy, but they have more choices, more comfort, more say in their future. Cities grow busier each year. Streets fill with merchants shouting prices, sailors unloading goods, and horses pulling heavy carts. Taverns become the heart of town life, places where people talk, share news, and dream of change. Newspapers start to spread new ideas, tiny sparks that will soon light a fire across the colonies. Education becomes more important. Some children learn to read and write in small schools run by local women. Others learn a trade from their parents. In wealthy homes, children study Latin and math so they can become leaders someday. But many children never see a book. Their job is simply to work and survive. Church bells ring loudly on Sundays. People gather to pray, but church is also where news travels, where gossip spreads, where marriages begin. Faith gives people a sense of purpose. They believe God watches over them, that hard work is holy, that their struggles mean something, and still, under all the normal routines, something big is growing. Years of taxes and unfair rules set by a king across the ocean make the colonists restless. Why should decisions about their lives be made by people who have never set foot on American soil? Why pay high taxes for ships, tea, and paper when they have no voice in the government? Anger begins to rise. People gather in secret meetings. They whisper about freedom. They argue in taverns. They sign papers with shaking hands. They refuse to buy British goods. They raise their voices and declare that something must change. Mothers spin their own cloth to avoid buying imported fabrics. Men train with muskets in open fields, learning to march in rows. They call themselves Minutemen, promising to defend their land with only a minute's warning. These farmers, blacksmiths, shopkeepers, and teachers do not look like soldiers. But the fire inside them grows hotter each day. Soon, gunshots will echo across green fields. Families will leave their farms to fight. Cities will tremble. A new idea will take shape, an idea that ordinary people can rule themselves. The people you lived alongside today are the ones who will build a new nation. Not kings, not nobles. Regular men, women, and children who worked with their hands, who endured hardship every day, who knew how to survive anything nature threw at them. The American spirit is being forged in fields and kitchens and small wooden homes, in the calluses on their hands, in the dirt under their nails, in the hope they carry inside. As the fire burns low and you lie down again on that rough bed of rope and straw, you feel different. You see this world with new eyes. Colonial America is not a boring history chapter. It is a place filled with real people fighting for life each day. People who will soon fight for something even bigger. Freedom. You close your eyes, listening to the soft wind outside and the steady breathing of others around you. Tomorrow will bring work, challenges, fear, and hope again. And when morning comes, America will be one sunrise closer to becoming a country. End of story.